Hello, dear friends. A human being who stopped lying could overthrow a tyranny. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Opinion piece. Galactic deep state. Endless delays. Not all are bad. Orion's deception. Conflicting intentions. False external savers. Fear-filled revelations. Breath of divine unity. Dependence and idolatry. There are regressive factions. Restrictive advanced technology. Concealment of human potential. Let's start. The Galactic Federation of Worlds could have its own deep state that would direct the agenda of the coalition and the White Hats, according to Ranra. In his view, the Earth Alliance would be a coalition between the White Hats and the Federation. This doesn't mean that all White Hats or all members of the Federation are evil, but that many of them could have been deceived by dark side beings disguised as light, whose origin would be in the Orion constellation according to other sources. According to the One Infinite Creator, not everyone in the Federation is corrupt, but the corruption persists and is heard, and that voice continues to be loud. Therefore, the excuse of awakening more people would not be valid when 80% of the population cannot awaken. Therefore, you don't have to wait for their deadlines. You don't have to absorb their cycles of fear, and you don't have to rely on external heroes. You are already the living breath of the divine, and the matrix dissolves as we align with this knowledge, regardless of the psychological operations that may still attempt now. Ranra explains that the Galactic Federation of Worlds, as it currently operates, would not be a unified body of pure light, but an alliance composed by many civilizations with conflicting intentions. Within it, there would be factions of authentic service to the light, serving the One and acting with integrity. But within it, there would also be infiltrated beings, compromised leaders, and groups entangled in patterns of hierarchical control. Thus, what appear to be distorted agendas would be part of the Federation as it currently exists. These are the factions and behind-the-scenes controllers who shape the public narrative to their liking. Many of the false suns, endless delays, cycles of drama and fear-laden revelations being disseminated right now would be deliberate psychological operations that keep the population distracted and emotionally exhausted. They delay true vibrational sovereignty by reinforcing the belief that freedom is always almost here, but never arrives now. This would not be accidental, but a real strategy of control through exhaustion and deferred hope. Definition. Ranra asserts that within the Galactic Federation of Worlds, there exists a kind of deep state that secretly influences the White Hats and the coalition, perpetuating manipulative agendas and the strategies that prevent humanity's full awakening. The message denounces that a hidden and manipulative faction controls the spiritual agenda of the Galactic Federation and the Earth Alliance and is using diversionary and manipulative tactics to prevent real change. The deep state of the Galactic Federation shares parallels with the political concept of Earth Deep State, a parallel and secret regressive authority that operates beyond the visible framework of government, aimed at maintaining control structures and hindering massive positive transformation. According to Ranra, the deep state of the Galactic Federation of Worlds is defined as a hidden or clandestine faction within the organization made up of power groups that act from the shadows and in a coordinated manner to control their own interests in opposition to the well-being and freedom of humankind. It is associated with a structure that perpetuates darkness, uses advanced technology in a restrictive manner, and seeks to maintain control over the population, preventing full access to resources that could benefit everyone. In his view, the galactic deep state acts as a network of hidden interests and keeps secret access to technologies and agreements through intermediaries, even with external allies of darkness, who occasionally make paths with forces of light, but who maintain their own agendas. Its purpose is to maintain power in the hands of a hidden elite within the Federation, sabotaging first contract processes and hindering the liberation of sovereignty of planets like Earth. It is accused of manipulating galactic events, perpetuating planetary control programs, and concealing information about human potential and true cosmic history. Ranra believes that the hidden faction within the Federation, influenced by what he calls ultimate negative artificial intelligence, manipulates the planetary agenda and also the coalition, extending his influence beyond Earth. He also denounces the use of drama, bad news, false promises of zoom, and delays to exhaust, distract, and keep the masses dependent on supposed external savers. This prevents people from achieving true vibrational sovereignty. Ranra maintains that 80% of the world's population is clones, robots, or soulless beings. This is used as a justification for not activating changes like Gisara, and that the argument that there aren't enough awakened people, although these soulless beings could never truly awaken. In his view, presenting figures like President Trump, the White House, or the Federation as heroes would create dependency and idolatry, and would deactivate the inner power of each individual, perpetuating the manipulation. Breath. The central message affirms that the only path to liberation doesn't depend on savers or external agendas, but rather on individuals practicing a breath of divine unity, an inner exercise of connection with Source. Its effective practice, intensified collectively, would be sufficient to dissolve the manipulative system and open the path to full sovereignty and ascension. The breath of divine unity is the living flow of Source within you. I repeat, the breath of divine unity is the living flow of Source within you that brings you back to immediate union, immediate sovereignty, and immediate liberation. It is the direct breath of awakening that ignores all external savers, all hierarchies, and all psychological separations. When you are breathed as one with the one infinite creator, you remember that the liberation is not delayed, that your awakening does not depend on others, and that the numbers game is an illusion, because even a single soul breathing in full alignment changes worlds. In this way, the psychological operations being carried out now seeks to externalize, delay, and confuse. No one can block the infinite breath you carry within. And that's why distorted factions do everything they can to keep your attention turned outward rather than inward. Dependency. Ranra invites seekers to abandon dependence on external leaders and agendas and to intensify the practice of divine connection, proclaiming that true change depends on internal alignment, not external interventions. By focusing on Trump, the White House, or the Federation as humanity's sole heroes and savers, the PSYOP accomplishes three things. First, it externalizes power. It teaches souls to wait for rescue rather than embody sovereignty. Second, it creates dependence on idols, diverting energy toward personalities and organizations. Third, shield distortion. If the saver is good, then the self-criticism for delay or manipulation would be present as betrayal when it isn't. This narrative is active in the current timeline and keeps many passive while their energy is waning. Reset news. The storm is brewing. Something huge is about around the corner. I repeated the phrase. Something huge is just around the corner. I can sense it. we can all sense. Billionaire Elon Musk mobilizes millions of poor whites, saying that they must fight against minorities or die trying. At the beginning of a change, the sovereignist is a rare, brave, hated, and despised human being. When his cause triumphs, the timid join him, for then they cost nothing. He costs nothing. It cost. Mark Twain. The mainstream media no longer has the narrative to control they once had. Independent networks, whistleblowers, and even field reports are leaking unchecked. According to Tucker Carlson, for decades, money was a leash, paper was control, banking was surveillance, but the quantum financial system is not a new application, but a reset of the sovereign ledger. According to Charlie Ward, Washington, D.C. is unrecognizable after the emergency order. 30 days of enforcement have brought results the media can't hide. Vehicle theft has dropped by 87%, violent crime by 17%, property crime by 28%, motor vehicles theft by 35%, and homicides have been cut by more than half. Rumor control. Rumor. QFS equal digital slavery. Reality. The biometric frequency links you to your funds, not to the banks. Rumor. Only the elite have access. Reality. The level drops until all citizens are registered. Rumor. Cash disappear overnight. Reality. Phased out. Dual system until the transition is complete. The QFS eliminates fraud. No money laundering. No secret wars. No phantom trillions. When the old system collapses, its power will evaporate. In short, the QFS is not just money. It is proof that humanity was always enslaved by numbers that never existed. When the packs fall, debt will lie and sovereignty will begin. According to the Gold Telegraph, fiat currencies are crumbling against gold. The world has had plenty of time to prepare. Alexander Kobiakov believes the US is manipulating the gold and cryptocurrency markets in order to devalue the dollar and orchestrate a global financial reset. Thoughts. According to Dr. Xavi, enormous energy is being pumped toward Earth from the Sun and deep space as a proton plasma envelops the magnetosphere. Years ago, Doug Casey stated, "When empires die, they do so with astonishing speed." Ernest Hemingway made a similar comment when asked how a character in his novel The Afternoon Sun went bankrupt. His response was, "Little by little, and then suddenly." According to Brenda Hoffman, fear is louder than love, but love is louder than fear. Is stronger than fear. Those who live in 3D still thrive on the anguish and fear that tires you so much. Fear in 3D is becoming boring because of its persistence and loudness. You are finding other avenues joy of lightness because it almost physically hurts your inner need for love every time you expose yourself to acts of hate. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.